Complaining about officiating, it's kind of boring. If you're going on social media and blaming your NFL team's loss on officiating, it's kind of boring, so let us do it for you. We thought so little of the officiating in the NFL in week 2 that we decided to make a video about it, and it's a particular kind of bad. It's the kind of bad we're going to show you about over the course of this video that's just been very frustrating through a couple of weeks. I'm not going to say it's like more penalties, it just seems like more avoidable penalties, and that's certainly the case with this ridiculous new taunting rule, which is what we're going to talk about first. In week 1, there were only 3 taunting penalties called. In week 2, there were 8, and they largely sucked. This is one of the least egregious ones, Keenan Allen getting up and jawing at a Cowboy defender like it isn't pretty clear that the defender thumped Allen with his fist when he was on the ground. So, okay, referee, you missed that. I don't know. Is this really enough to get worked up about? Again, this will be the least egregious that we show you of the taunting penalties, and I still think, what's the point in calling this? Here's one. It's an incomplete pass, Andy Dalton, and Von Bell, after the play, talks to him a little bit. Listen to play-by-play guy Kevin Kugler try and figure out why a flag has been thrown.
Boy, Bell and Dalton were talking, and did Bell bump an official?
Yeah, because he's a rational human being, Kugler thinks there must be more than 2 players talking for a 15-yard penalty to be called. You are not the only one, Kevin. Simply put, this is a rule in search of a problem. There was exactly nobody who thought any of this was a problem. This is the Bears' Tayshaun Gibson mildly clapping at an opponent. I've seen bigger displays of taunting on a golf course. I really have. Jamar Chase dropped the ball. Shouldn't that be the thing that we notice and we get on somebody about? Not the dude mildly clapping while standing over him? Oh, you don't like clapping? Then you're really going to hate waving your arms and saying incomplete. This happens all the time. This happens a dozen other times. On Sunday it happened. I mean, the goofball officiating crew doing the Titans-Seahawks games who had other problems during this game, believe me, they call this taunting. This is taunting like I'm Michael Jordan. It's just stupid, man. Like, nobody needed this. It's a solution in search of a problem. Okay, Levi Wallace, here's a little more adamant in his incomplete motion, and maybe he tells a nasty yo mama joke. Who was upset about stuff like this? Who was petitioning the competition committee about stuff like this? Do we care? It opens up such a can of worms. Another talking point, like what kind of player gets flagged? What kind of player doesn't? Why are you bothering? In the Texans-Browns game, oh great. So now there's no spinning the ball. It's funny, I saw the ball spun 100 other times on Sunday. What is the difference this time? Oh, please tell me, Mr. Official.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 88, spinning the ball in the opponent's bench. That's number 88.
Oh, great. So now we're deciding where I can spin the ball so it's not taunting and where I can spin it so it is taunting. Great. This just in, spinning the ball is always sort of rubbing it in the face of the other team. That's kind of the point. And it's pretty cool. It's fine. This kind of stuff is just going to get messed up because it's not important. Here's a pick 6 for Mike Edwards of the Buccaneers. It helped clinch the day for the Bucs in a surprisingly tough game against the Falcons. And he runs in backwards. And guess what?
Taunting number 32 of the intercepting team.
I mean, nobody cares how you run the ball into the end zone, my man. And then fast forward a few hours to the thrilling Chiefs-Ravens game. Lamar Jackson wheels his team down the field. He runs in for what turns out to be the game-winning touchdown and does a flip into the end zone, and that's not called taunting. Is that different than running in backwards? It's a bad rule. It's going to go away. It's going to go the way of the tuck rule eventually. There's no point in trying to figure out any logic here. Hey, we are sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, if you live in one of those lucky states where Sportsbook is legal, I am jealous because that's pretty fun. And if you do, and you start up a DraftKings Sportsbook account and use the promo code Harris, you can make a $1 bet on any Week 3 NFL game, and they will give you $150 in free bets to play around with. Now, if, like me, you don't live in one of the magic states, We still all play together every week in our DFS contest, which is very fun, and we'll keep that going in week 3 as well. And once again, if you use that promo code HarrisTube, starting up a new account with your first deposit, they will give you a free contest to enter. So everyone, come play DFS with us. And if you're in one of those lucky states, go get an account and make a $1 bet in week 3, and they'll give you $150 in free bets in all cases. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use that promo code HarrisTube. So, all right. I mean, I do think complaining about officiating, it gets old. We do it every year. And you know, to some degree, it's an excuse. You know, your team wasn't good enough to win. Usually it's not the officials that had anything to do with it. And in fact, I'm actually quite sympathetic to the idea that it's a really difficult job. And there are plenty of plays people go on Twitter and really complain about where I go, yeah, I mean, letter of the law, that wasn't the right call, but they're human beings. It's just hard to do that job. Giants fans were mad at this. This is the defensive offsides play on Dexter Lawrence on the game-winning field goal last Thursday that Dustin Hopkins actually missed the first kick, right? But it looked so weird that the refs called offsides on the Giants and gave Hopkins another chance, which he then wound up hitting. Yes, if you slow it down, this is Lawrence getting a great jump. It tricked the referee's eyes. That's not optimal. You know, the game is officiated by humans. You understand how this happens. Shaq Barrett here called offsides. Again, if we slow it way down, it's actually obvious he got a great jump. He was never really offsides, but that's a bang-bang play, right? We can't get mad that the human eye messes this up either. This play gets blown dead. It's not optimal. It kind of should have been a defensive touchdown for Tampa Bay, but this kind of thing, it's human beings doing this. Even this one, it's a terrible spot of the ball, but again, it's done by humans. Chris Carson lunging for a first down on a 3rd and 1, extends the ball. He's absolutely not close to getting the first down, but the Titans didn't challenge, and it's split-second work done by human beings, and it stinks, but you have to feel for people who aren't superhuman having to officiate players who kind of are superhuman. It's a really hard job. What I don't like is that sometimes NFL officials don't use their common sense and understand the spirit of the rule. Like, understand what you allow on every dang series practically, and then you call this offensive interference against Cole Kmet on Sunday. Are you being serious? Like, what did you see? Receivers do exactly this on nearly every play. Offensive interference, it's supposed to be like, I shoved you to the ground. I shoved way up. Like, understand the spirit of the rule, man. That is a dreadful call. And let's use that same standard to look at the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. He's number 32 here for the Chiefs, and he's got Marquise Brown. And we're going to show you 2 plays. The first one, all right. I mean, I still think I see this on just about every play, and flags really ordinarily shouldn't be for something like this. It has to be for when it's like outside the ordinary. But if you want to call this first one, okay. The second one, watch him again, number 32. Watch what happens. That is an I breathed on him type situation. It shouldn't matter who you're rooting for. You should realize this happens on nearly every play. The refs aren't corrupt here. They're just using a weird standard. I can show you a couple of plays that didn't get called that were just as bad. Watch Tyreek Hill here. Watch number 21, Brandon Stevens. Watch him reach out. Is that basically not the same thing? Watch Sammy Watkins here. Split wide left, and watch number 38, L'Jarius Sneed, as Watkins gets past him. Watch him tug his jersey. Isn't that worse? Isn't that more in the spirit of that rule? Okay, again, what I'm objecting to in this play is the common sense. We're calling things that don't affect the play and that happen constantly throughout a game. This is an illegal man downfield on the Ravens' 2-point conversion early 4th quarter. Watch number 70, Kevin Zeitler. He tries to make a block. He gets turned. He gets shoved. Does this influence anything on this play? Let's understand why we have the rule, the spirit of the rule, and not call it more often than we would normally. It's just over officious. How about intentional grounding from Monday night when Jared Goff rolls out here? Is he not clearly outside the tackle box? He is several yards outside the tackle box, and his arm is hit as he throws. Okay, it's not a fumble. That's the right call, but it's also not grounding, and they do call it intentional grounding. Do you not understand the why behind the rules? He gets his arm hit. He's trying to get rid of it, sure, but he's outside the tackle box. This play by Justin Herbert, key play in the game right after Jared Cook on a touchdown that was reversed by an illegal shift, which I guess was because he didn't get set. I'm not going to show you that one. But this play was called a sack. Let's listen to Tony Romo talk about this play.
Oh, they're calling him down.
He was driving backwards.
No.
It is going to be third down from this spot.
Wow, back at the 26.
They're calling him down at the 25, a sack, which I don't think is a good call here.
Okay, it's a judgment call. But, judgment-wise, usually in the quarterback's case, you're giving the star quarterback so much leeway. And if you need proof, here's Russell Wilson in overtime on Sunday. In what world was Russell Wilson not in the end zone when the defender had a hold of him and you blew the play dead? The answer is nothing. None. No world. On one hand, here you have the player given the benefit of the doubt. In Herbert's case, clearly not given the benefit of the doubt. This should have been a game-ending play, certainly by the standard you showed with the Justin Herbert play. And whatever. Make it consistent. Just make it make sense. It isn't that hard. But that is a judgment call. Here's the worst thing about the NFL officiating so far this season. The worst. Here, J.D. McKissic carries, and he's trying to get a first down inside the 2-minute mark of the first half. And you can see, nobody touches him, and he falls forward, and it should be a first down. Okay, they miss it on the field. The instant replay booth initiates the challenge. The system works as it should. Remember how we were told, this season they're going to let more stuff stand unless there's real video evidence. Isn't there real video evidence here? You tell me who touched J.D. McKissic before he scooched for the first down. Somehow they let this stand? Bengals Bears again, also inside the 2-minute mark of the first half, so all the reviews are handled by the booth. Marquise Goodwin goes up to get a ball, comes down, he's ruled in. Again, bang, bang play. You can't get on the on-field official here. The booth initiates a review. System works as it should. Listen to what Dean Blandino said.
No, he didn't. Great effort, but you're going to see, watch the left foot hits the ground, and then it's going to be the knee hitting out of bounds and the left hand hitting out of bounds before that second foot, the right foot touches. So great effort, ruled to catch on the field, but this should come back in replay.
Referee. After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Completed pass.
Whoa. Like, what is replay even for? It's just ridiculous. And then, on the other hand, you get plays like this. Julio Jones, back of the end zone. All scoring plays will be reviewed. But this is ruled a touchdown on the field. So we're going to have to get, as they say, incontrovertible proof to overturn it. And as we're seeing here, the replay people, I don't know. I mean, they're apparently not going to overturn anything this year, right? That's the rule that we just learned in those previous two plays. These are the same people who didn't overturn those two previous calls. And what they do here?
After review, the receiver's heel came out of bounds, touchdown out of bounds. As a result, it's an incomplete pass.
I just don't know what to tell you. So it's not that there have been more penalties so far this year. Now, 2020 was down because no fans, not as much illegal motion. If anything, officiating has gotten less stringent in sheer volume, but high profile, obvious mistakes. Been as bad as I can remember for a couple of weeks here. Week 2 was so bad. It's not a conspiracy. The league doesn't hate your team. We've been complaining about officiating forever, of course. I'm not trying to say this is the worst thing ever or it's just really frustrating to watch. It doesn't seem like it should be so hard to get replay right, and they mess it up so much, and there's just no need to throw as many flags as they do, especially for the taunting nonsense. And really, I have a lot of sympathy for how hard a job it is. There are a lot of calls that people complain about that I think it's just human error and they're not reviewed and you just kind of have to live with it. That's sports. So much stuff seems to be in the league's control to make better, and they just don't. Replay we should all agree. There's never a time where you're like 51 one way, 49 another. We all watch replay. We all know what it was, and they get it wrong so frequently. And taunting, who asked for this rule? It's just slowing down the game. It's confusing. It's dumb. We do not like it. I would love to hear what you think down in the comments because it's been a hard couple of weeks for NFL officiating. However, it's been fun on this channel, and we thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.